G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in over on the west side of the map, playing as the Rus, we have got Leary. He is going to be opening us up here with a hunting cabin going down on the wood line, and damn isn't it looking good, because ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Golden League. We are here, we are witnessing the very first rounds of Golden League. And the question is, who does Leary go up against on the opposite side of the map? But it is, of course, the one, the only, the Lean-Octopus, as they like to call him, as I like to call him, I guess. He is going to be playing as the Chinese in this situation, and I'm curious to see how he looks to open in this position. We can see he's already looking to take the gold here. Not going to be opening on a mill, very interesting, obviously up against the Rus, so he is going to be going for a double scout opening here. Has picked up a couple of wolves already, does manage to find a second one up towards the north as well. So having a pretty decent opening coming back towards this position, and you can see that he is looking to try and take control of the map, and now we do see what appears to be. Is this potentially? No, it couldn't be. It is going to be two villagers coming out to gold nice and early here at 1 minute and 7 seconds. Interestingly, no mill coming out. You can hear those sounds going off right now. Despite being as an observer, we do get to hear those lovely wolf sounds popping off, and it looks like Leanock going to be able to find his second hunt here as well. He's going to be a very happy camper as he continues to have those wolves chase around. He scouted out the first boar on the map. At the same time, it looks like Leary has managed to scout out that second one, and Leanock indeed has as well. So do we potentially see a BOARBICAN coming down today? That is the question, and Leanock is still doing a great job of cleaning this up. Damn, I wish I could turn off those wolf noises. I guess we'll just watch Leary until those wolves have been completely cleaned up. Hopefully he doesn't find any wolves over here. He's only sitting on 40 bounty at the moment, so Leary definitely going to have to try and do a bit better with regard to his hunt, but it looks like a double hunt spawning in for Leary up towards the north of his base. So double hunt over towards the south of Leanock's base, a nice little mirror coming in on this side. But at the same time, we'll tune in with him and see how he's doing with regard to his food income. At the moment, everything looking good. 4 villagers here on wood. Leary. Leary. Showing his unawareness of game mechanics at this point in time. So for anybody unfamiliar with Leary, Leary's come across from Age of Empires 2. He's decided he's going to be committing to Age of Empires 4 in a full-time capacity. And we do indeed see that he is chopping into the hunting cabin. The circle that is coming... the hunting cabin... so for anybody watching this at home and wondering what the deal is with this, so Leary is... Oh my god, those wolves are haunting me, dude. I hate it when the Rus are in games, because all these wolves are getting just tapped everywhere. So he's chopping into this position here without actually taking into account the fact that the hunting cabin's gold rate is set. So even if you manage to knock down all these trees, that hunting cabin's going to be gathering up 25 gold a minute for the rest of the game. And what do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? It indeed is a BOARBICAN going to be coming down in the middle of the map. You can see the Leanock scout going to be out here in the middle of the map. At the same time, scout going to be met here from Leary. Leary doesn't look like he's going to be aggroing the boar today, so a bit of a dangerous position here from Leanock. So for anybody unfamiliar with what can happen in this scenario, you can actually aggro the boar to attack the villagers. So all you would do is just right-click that boar with your scout and run away in this direction, and the boar would be attacking the villagers. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We were expecting it, and now it is coming out in absolute beautiful fashion. Now, one of the interesting things to note in this situation is that Leanock hasn't actually gone for an early mill, and as a result, we don't see an early Imperial official coming out for him. You can see he's sitting on 0 out of 4 at the moment, and that is somewhat untypical. Something that you would normally see out of these early Chinese openings is a large amount of Imperial officials, whether that's 1, whether that's 2. It is definitely more than 0, but now we do see that BOARBICAN has made its way up before the 4-minute mark as well. Villager, as well as the BOARBICAN of the Sun, going to be firing off towards this huntable boar. You can see it slowly but steadily taking some damage here, and now the villager is going to be coming in and finishing it off, keeping it nice and close to this BOARBICAN. A great spot for him, and now going to be dropping down that mill right next to it. And gotta say, very nice opening here by Leanock. Now, keep in mind there is also a boar that is safe up towards the north. You can see Leary quite intent on capturing it up. His single scout going to be standing in position, ready to take it out. And we already see villagers moving out. And this is the boar matter, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing it in all of its glory here. Both players opting towards a boar at such an early stage. We're not even 5 minutes into this game, and both boars are going to be ending up dead. So I'm curious to see how much attention actually gets drawn towards both of these boars and what direction Leanock looks to actually play. Because one of the things to note is that China into Rus, they've got actually a pretty decent matchup for their Chokunu. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw Leanock go for a dynasty. He's got a pretty decent position. He could drop his dynasty, his second landmark landmark down here. Would cover the wood line, but probably going to be looking to drop it down here. Gives himself plenty of free space back in the base here. You drop the Dynasty or the Imperial Academy right here, and you're going to be able to put your granary right in a great position just here. So let's see exactly how he looks to play. But a lot of villagers now beginning to move out to gold. Imperial Official going to be moving out to gold as well. At the same time, second Imperial Official coming out on the front line. And look at this, Leenock actually going ham. And I gotta say, I love it. I gotta say, I absolutely love it. Fellas, you guys would have seen that we did a build order review where we talked about, you know, China and that this build would take over. Now, this isn't the exact same build that Leenock is using. Leenock going for something a little bit different here. We don't see an early wheelbarrow coming out from Leenock. He is still playing somewhat, I would say somewhat greedy, because he's going for that Imperial Academy. There it is, 7 villagers tapping away at that landmark. He is intent on getting up to that next stage. And I gotta say, it is looking beautiful, his build order. He's gonna have that Dynasty up about 6 minutes, 5 seconds by the looks of it. But now it does scout out up towards the north. He sees his enemy going for that hunting cabin, as well as grabbing that wooden fortress, keeping those villagers safe up towards that northern position. 7 villagers, I was gonna say 7 villagers coming in, and we do see that Imperial Academy about to complete. 6:08 it is. Not a bad timing right there for the Song Dynasty. But I'm curious as to whether Leary has actually lost a villager up here. You can see one of them on low health. I suspect he might have lost a villager up here, because normally you would bring 8 up to this position. Let's check the villager count. 23 versus 22. Leary lost a villager, because keep in mind, 2 villagers came out for, or 2 Imperial Academy officials came out for Leenock. So a bit of a mistake coming in from Leary. So still finding his footsteps or finding his feet there. But Scout, got to be careful here. Might go down if it's not. Indeed, it looks like it's going to be able to make it away. 26 health on that bad boy. Keep in mind, only 25 damage coming out from the hand cannon here. But Imperial Academy, a great position here. He's going to be right towards the back of the base. It's nice and safe. He's going to be able to drop granaries behind his Imperial Academy as long as he's planning on doing it. Obviously, in the Song Dynasty, he's going to be having access to it now. Behind the town center, we see that Leenock just sitting, hovering, waiting with that scout. Third Imperial Official is now out on the map. So the first one down here on the mill, second one up on the gold mine, and third one going to be on the lumber camp. So he is intent on gathering up maximum amount of resources with these villagers, but looking very, very good, I gotta say. I love the way that he's chopping into this wood line as well. But we'll take a look at his opponent and see how he is doing. It looks like it's going to be a double wooden fortress opening into a fast castle. What the heck is Leary up to? I haven't seen this before. I've got to be real with you guys. I don't think I've ever seen this build order coming out before. It is a boar into a fast castle. And now we've got a stable coming out as well from Leary, so going to be leaving the villagers of his opponent completely untouched. And at the same time, Leenock going to be very happy in this position. And we do indeed see an early wheelbarrow coming down. Now, one of the things to note, all of this tax gold is essentially going to be going to waste. There's no real way to collect this. I mean, you could do the long distance walk if you want, but you're just going to be losing so much efficiency, so much timing with that potential Imperial Official. So we'll look to see how he plays it, but that is a lot of resources going in the bank there for Leenock. Now behind this, looks like we do have a barracks coming out in response. He does scout out the stable from his enemy. Also does see the Abbey of the Trinity. So we can see Leenock now very intent on aging up to the next stage. He's slowly but steadily transitioned off his woodline. You can see all the villagers moving out over to the berries here. But I got to say, I love the way that Leenock is playing this fast Imperial Academy and this boar. Now, a lot of people look at the boar and they go, Drongo, it's kind of crazy. China shouldn't be out on the map with that amount of villagers. It's just kind of suicidal. I want to remind you, it's actually a very smart move to come out onto this boar as China. And the reason why is because this is 2,000 food. And when you throw in the Imperial Official on top of this mill, it's 2,400 food. And that's a huge amount of resources for the Chinese to have in the early game, especially considering these are resources that are safe in realistic terms. You've got 9 units out here that can all jump in the Barbican. You're going to have a pretty good idea of whether there's a sizable force coming out from your enemy. Speaking of sizable, Leary here aging up with 5 villagers on the landmark. I got to say, this is probably the first time I've seen someone go to Castle Age with 5 landmarks. But wowee, just sort of underselling it a little bit. And ideally, you'd look to rush up to that 3rd age. But we're going to see Leenock probably looking to do something similar, maybe with a few more villagers, but Leary going to be able to chase away that scout, preventing any of that scouting information come back, and now we see that BOARBICAN really coming in strong here. As the 3rd age landmark is going to be coming down. Astronomical clock tower. Look at that. 4 villagers for Leenock. Both of these guys just taking their time with their castle age landmarks. And finally, we see a few more villagers migrating over to that astronomical clock tower. I thought these guys were just taking their time. But it seems like Leenock finally got the message and he decided he's going to invest a little bit more resources into it. Now we do see the boar has run dry. You don't miss your food until your boars run dry, it seems. But instead going to be focusing on gathering up these sheep here underneath the safety of this Barbican, and then probably going to be moving back towards the base. We do see a mill has gone down in the base here for Leenock, so ideally could move his villagers back there, but at the same time, he's going to lose a lot of tempo if he does that. He now reaches the 3rd age, and he's going to be up against his opponent who is gathering up those relics. You can see the Abbey of the Trinity now moving out with warrior monks across the map. We'll have a look and see whether he's got any. Doesn't seem like it just yet. Just a single knight standing by at this point in time, and definitely Leary finding his feet in Age of Empires 4. It seems not confident at all, despite having a couple of early knights. He could be moving into his enemy's base and looking to dish out some damage, but not going to be the case here. We see him moving down towards the south. We'll do a quick relic check and see how they're doing. Everything looking pretty fair. I gotta be honest with you guys, it's not too crazy. Maybe a little bit more favored towards Leenock, but even then, I think Leary's still got some pretty good access out here, so we'll see how he looks to play. But now, Lance is gonna be the name of the game here for Leenock. He's gonna be looking to tangle those tentacles around his opponent, whether it's with his lances or whether it's with his spearmen. We'll see how he looks to play it, but it does seem like he's going for a very heavy economy, as we do see the wood line getting some upgrades coming through with the double broadaxe, as well as the forestry upgrade now for Leenock. And we'll take a quick stock take and see where the villager count is right now. Leenock sitting at 41. Over on the other side of the map, Leary going to be sitting at 37. So that is definitely to account for the fact that he's in the Song Dynasty. And Leenock going to be gathering up a lot, or training out a lot more villagers than his opponent in this scenario. Night Raid comes through, doubling down on that single villager, loses its life. No textiles upgrade coming through just yet for the Leenock. And now Leenock, unfortunately, going to be losing another villager if he's not careful. Spears coming out. Indeed, that villager does go down. Another raid coming down on the back line. Berry's going to be losing villagers out here. Leenock's got to wake up. Second villager going down over here. He's lost 2 villagers on that side. 2 villagers, 3 villagers now. Leenock hasn't got the message. 4th villager going to be going down here. Leenock losing a lot of villagers. 5th villager coming down here on the back line. Leenock, wake up, my friend. You are losing villagers left, right, and center. Spears on the front line managed to chase away these knights, but I can't help but feel like you've chased them a little bit too far, Leenock, because that is not pretty. And all of these spears now that could be back home are still chasing Leenock. Where are you going with your spears, mate? You got yourself a bit of a dream over there. Lancer appears to deny the relic that came in. We didn't hear a Wallalol go off, so it looks like he didn't tap the button in time. And now Lancer's doing out incredible work against their opponents. And now the charge comes in. Careful, Leenock. You're going to be losing units if you're not careful. And indeed he does. First Lancer goes down against those knights. He manages to trade out 1 for 1, so it's not a terrible trade. Going to be able to secure up that relic, Mr. Leary is. And now at the same time, a little bit of a chase happening towards the north side. Do we have that veterancy coming through? Indeed, we do not just yet. Leenock struggling a little bit with that economy. His second barracks going to be dropping down and now adding some farms around that town center. He's worried about his food economy, and instead of opting towards a granary play, he's going to be looking to just put the farms around the town center. But I got to say, I'm impressed by the fact that we have seen a BOARBICAN out this early, and it just feels great. The new China is looking very good with this boar in the early stages of the game. Lancer doing a little bit of a run around, going to be able to stay alive for a little bit longer, and the spear is going to be able to fend off these units, but at the same time, we're going to do a bit of a stock take right now. 42 villagers for Leenock. His opponent sitting on 43. So Leary manages to take the villager lead, and now Knight moving up towards the north, as well as a spearman. There is action all over this map right now. These two players going toe-to-toe with each other, and Leary going to be struggling here. Manages to get a few of the villagers, a handful of the villagers inside that wooden fortress. Going to be able to take out the units in that position. At the same time, he's under attack from multiple angles here. Leary needs to be moving in towards an archer composition. I'd love to see that coming out from him, but such a dangerous time to be making spears. Let's see how he looks to play it, though. Up against the Chinese, always dangerous to be getting out these spears, just because it feels like China is able to sort of chrono boost their barracks and get out a whole bunch of units. Now going to have some more villagers migrating. Looks like he's going out to a stone. I would only suspect that is a stone, and indeed it is. That's 13 villagers, so I can't help but feel that's going to be a keep coming up from Leenock. He is looking to solidify his position in the late game and try and keep himself alive. He's got more berries out here he could potentially take. At the same time, more berries up towards the north, and we do hear relics being picked up. At the same time, spears going to be picked off in the middle of the map here, trying to get off a nice little bit of a trade, but the knight is going to stay alive for another day. It does live to see another day. But yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, third relic now getting captured here for Leary. Still one more relic up towards the north, yet to be claimed by either player, but we do see Leenock going to be moving towards it, I suspect. He has shift-clicked this monk in. No, he doesn't. He's got a second monk standing by idly, and now you can see those spears coming out. Veteran Spearman has come through, and this is why it's sort of dangerous to play against the Chinese, making spears of when your opponent is doing the same thing. But now we see the town center getting dropped down from Leenock. So instead of opting towards a keep, he's just going to be opting towards a second town center. An interesting placement for this town center as well. Not really guarding anything. It's kind of like the you know, jack of all trades, master of none. It's kind of close to the wood line, not really guarding it. Kind of close to the stone mine, not really guarding it. Kind of close to the berries, not really guarding it. But still acts as this central location that villagers will be able to fall back to. But Leenock definitely looking to take control of this game when it comes to the economy. Dropping down this second town center is really going to help him out and definitely going to be boosting up his economy. We'll take a look and see how Leary responds to it because he does scout it out. He does know he's aware of it. And by the same token, Leenock knows that he's aware of it. So could be looking out for a second town center coming out from his opponent. But now in the middle of the map, we hear that sacred site being tapped out by... there must be a warrior monk. There he is. He's standing right on the edge there. He is going to be capturing that sacred site. We see a second one moving in towards this position. And now the scout in the top of the map does go down. It looks like that sheep going to be changing allegiance over towards the red side. The better side, as some would say. At least the fans of the Linoctopus would be saying. But now scout moving out with a couple of knights. These guys are looking to try and cause some havoc over in the base of Leary. We'll have to keep an eye out exactly how they do. You can see he's moved up towards the deer. None of these deer have actually been taken by Leary right now. 7 deer on this patch. 7 deer on this one. Let's take a look at 7 deer on that. So Leary yet to take any. And now a second town center does get dropped down for Leary as well. A whole bunch of farms getting dropped around it as well. So not going for any form of hunting. Very, very curious despite being the Rus, a civilization which loves to hunt. He hasn't opted for survival techniques. So there's no incentive for him to really go for them. But at the same time, you're talking about the Rus, a civilization that loves to get out on the map, loves to take control. And now we actually see veteran spearmen coming through for Leary. So very curious decision for him to go into this. Normally you would expect to see a more mangonel-based composition rather than those spears. But instead he's going to be applying pressure to the wood line. Lee not going to be losing villagers if he's not careful. Spearman going to be coming in. A clockwork nest of bees also going to be doing some damage here. And now it looks like just a single missile fires off before Lee not cancels it and tries to move it forward. Spear on spear action. We got veteran spears up against the veteran spears of the enemy. And now look at those fireworks just cracking off. But sacred sites being captured towards the south, being captured towards the north. And we can see the warrior monk doing what it does best, chasing down the religious units of its enemy and giving it a good stab at religion. Good times, I gotta say, good times. Reminds me of a certain war, but you know what? I'm going to be honest. It's basically every war is a religious war, except for the ones over oil. Yeah, I guess even then you could argue that it's always going to be. You know what? Let's not get into it, Drongo. Let's not get into it. That's a touchy subject. We'll talk more about the spearmen because they're always going to be stabbing people. But now down towards the south, it looks like I don't know where this warrior monk went. Or how it went down. Actually, it went down to the Barbican, so the warrior monk was somewhat baited over towards that Barbican, but now up towards the north, we see the scout just scouting out, looking for any potential units, keep going down in the middle, and this is going to be a great point for Leenock to begin moving forward. So he's going to be using this as his base of operations, and you can see he's heavily gathering stone for the next keep. Still got 500 back down on this one, but going to be slowly moving forward. I suspect the next sacred, the next keep is going to go down on this stone, and then he's going to mine enough stone from this, and then he's going to put the next one forward. And he's just going to keep hopping from stone mine to stone mine, never gathering all of the stone mine up, but only gathering enough for his next keep. Let's see how he looks to play it, though, because I actually think he might be doing that. But now a bit of a runaround going to be coming in. At the same time, Scout still scouting out, and now the Barbican going to be exposing out that potential raid. Leary does see it. He also sees the villagers on these berries, villagers making their way back towards the safety of the keep. Indeed, they managed to survive, all of them going in unharmed, and Leary losing a knight in the process. At the same time, we've got a potential decap in the middle. In fact, not just a potential. It looks like the sacred site does get taken out. And now knights up towards the east of the map look to be repelled once again by the spearmen. So I got to say, Leenock has managed to do a great job in repelling it. And indeed, we've got the granary coming down. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You are seeing it for the first time in this game. It is going to be the granary coming down, but obviously didn't watch my video on how to place the granaries the best possible way. He's got plenty of wood in the bank and could definitely opt to place down 2 more granaries if he so chose to. But now down towards the south, spearman going to be getting a great little fight in here. Beautiful trades coming through once again for Leenock. He's definitely buying a lot of potential over there, but now at the same time, we did see a monk getting picked up. Where is that second keep? There's got to be another keep that's dropped down here somewhere, right? Somewhere we've got to see that second keep. There it is, being dropped down. And Leenock, you got to be careful, my friend. No, he doesn't need to be careful at all. That keep is not in any danger. I saw the mangonels coming out from Leary, and I got a little bit worried, but it seems to me that he's going to be A-okay as the keep in the middle of the map, going to get dropped down, and Leary going to be using that as a staging ground. Could potentially look to work upon his opponent, but Leenock now entering the 20 minutes of the game. He is going to be sitting up on a beautiful 85 villagers compared to Leary, who's on 57. So you got to wonder where it all went wrong for Leary, because, you know, he's sitting on the 2 town centers. You feel like that's probably enough, but keep in mind, no Song Dynasty for Leary, and is struggling with training up these villagers. You can see he's got a bit of an idle town center right now. 2 of them actually being garrisoned to this this mine that used to exist. Now going to be garrisoned out to this one. But Trebuchet in the works for him. So going to be looking to use this central location as a staging ground and then begin moving in, pushing towards that keep of his opponent. But now we begin to see that Lenok is continuing to add towards this economy. We see a second granary coming down here. He's got some pretty decent overlap here. We've got to take a look at the overlap here. It kind of looks a bit like a... I can't remember the exact name of it, but you can see he's doing a pretty decent job. What kind of upgrades are we talking about for Lenok? Oh my god, you're looking at beautiful upgrades right there. He's got wheelbarrow, he's got fertilization, he's got horticulture that have come in. Mangonel going to be looking to try and tee off towards one of those spearmen, and Lenok going to be starting to worry about his military mass. He's on 33 military at this point in time. He needs to be working out a bit more on the military front because over on the other side, Leary's sitting on 55, and he is a very happy camper. A lot of spears coming out, a lot of knights coming out from him, but at the same time, Nesta B's firing off down towards the base, and you can see they're firing off and actually taking out all of the rice with them. Whenever rockets hit the ground, they take out the rice. You can see it right there. And whenever the Nesta Bees unpack, they also take out all of the rice. And now villagers coming in, a bit of a quick wall right there. And look at all that poor rice getting taken out. Does the villager even... Oh, the villager just finds some new rice. Never mind. It's just a graphical glitch. But maybe there's an update, a mod that can come through where our rice doesn't get destroyed. But Springwood's got to be careful. Going to be losing their lives here. Nesta B's going to be firing off. Look at the damage coming out right now from Leary. On Leary, rather. And Lenok definitely going to be chasing away. Mangonel, forgetting that it was a Mangonel and decided to be a tree. But unfortunately, Lenok realized it wasn't a tree. Did take it out. Springwood's at the same time going to be firing off. Not a lot of damage being done. But now we hear that Trebuchet doing what it does best and teeing off towards that keep. Still yet to repair any damage on that keep. You can see it's sitting out at 2,800 health at the moment. He's slowly going to be working towards taking it out. And an interesting wall coming through for Lenok. Obviously, there was a village that did once exist in this position. It did go down. But now Lenok pulling villagers towards that keep. He's going to be looking to heal it up, repair it up, give it a little bit of love. And indeed he does as we watch that rock come in. There we go. I caught that one. Did you guys see that? I caught that perfectly right as it was coming in. But now we see a response from Lenok. He's going for the Clock Tower counterweight trebuchet. Oh, it's a trebuchet. I never realized because, as you can see, it's got a little bit. It's a little bit too long. But now going to be coming out with his trebuchet response and looking to deal damage in the center of the map to his opponent. Sacred Site also being captured up in the middle, and we are getting ourselves ready for the late game. Now, when it comes to the late game, if you would ask me on the previous patch, Strongo, who was the best late game civilization? I would have told you without any hesitation, oh, that's got to be the Rus. That's got to be the Rus, my little friend. That's got to be the Rus. But that is not the case anymore. And you want to know why? It is because the Rus Springwood got nerfed. That is correct. This bad boy right here, he is no longer going to be going up to 13.5 range. In fact, he's not even going to be going to 13 range. He's going to be maxing out at 12.5 range. And that means he's not as strong as he once used to be. And as a result, it means that siege balls for the Rus aren't going to be as potent as they once used to be because they're not going to be able to be protected by these Springwoods. And as a result, it means that Lenok now plays the civilization that in the late game is the strongest as he begins to push out. Nesta B is going to be teeing off towards all the spearmen. Look at the spearmen going down on the front line. Poor spearmen, all going to be going down. Lancers moving out or knights moving out at the same time. And look at those fireworks just crackling off towards the units there of Leary. And Lenok now going to be looking to repair in this position and try and heal up this keep. He's keeping it alive for the moment. He's got plenty of wood in the base, or plenty of wood in the bank, rather. No insufficient issues here. And Lenok's girlfriend definitely going to be happy with that one. But at the same time, Spear's got to be careful. A couple of palace guards getting swept in the mix. At the same time, we can see a little bit of a road coming through here. Now the counterweight trebuchet is going to be falling back. Second counterweight trebuchet going to be firing down on this keep down to the south. But now we can see Lenok actually moving in towards this position. Raids coming up towards the north. There seems to be action all over the map at this point in time, and he's going to try his best once again to keep this siege alive. You can see the keep going to be unfolding down on these units towards the ground. You can see he's actually doing damage towards this nest of bees, losing a lot of health on this bad boy. It's going to be going down, but at the same time, he's sieging down the keep in the middle of the map. Even if he loses a nest of bees, I guess he's not going to be particularly sad, but at the same time, what's the next target? Is it going to be another nest of bees? I suspect it would be, as he now begins to focus down spears, but he's losing the life of the keep. Keep is going to be going down. It is not too long for this world as it continues to be receiving a lot of damage. No boiling oil coming out for Leary at this point either. It's an expensive upgrade. Keep in mind they did nerf boiling oil in the most recent upgrade, and that keep in the center of the map is going to be taken out there. And I gotta say, Leary not looking the strongest. Now we'll do a quick assessment and see where these players are up to. Leary on 69 villagers. I've got no one else to say it, so I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna have to say it myself. Nice. 25 military population. Let's check out what his opponent is up to, and it is terrible damage. 108 economy, so 40 villages more than his opponent, and a huge military advantage as well. 54 military coming out for him, and now Leenock looking to close the gap. You can see the way he pulled back towards that fence line, that wall line, I was going to say. He did a great job of closing that gap, preventing any potential run-by from coming through. And now Leary going to be falling back towards his own base, unfortunately, because that is an unsuccessful raid attempt there by him. Leenock doing a great job of just securing up this northern face. You can see he's walled in completely over here, left himself somewhat open to potential drive-by, but has migrated the majority of his units down towards the south side. Now the Knight going to be neutralizing the sacred site before it dies, and unfortunately, it loses its life. Horse Archer mass beginning from Leary. So you can see he's got the +2 ranged upgrade. It is coming through. It is being reflected on our UI. We'll take a look and see what other upgrades he's gotten at this stage. Just looks like he's gone for attack upgrades, going with the +2 attack as well as +2 ranged attack. Now going to be looking for +1 melee defense, and then, you know what, maybe he'll add in +1 ranged defense afterwards. We'll have to see how he looks to play it, but plenty of resources stacked up in the bank for him at the moment. The issue he's going to have is just lack of economy. And keep in mind, the longer this game goes, the more likely it is that China wins, because Rus was that civilization in the late game that used to be the king, but it's been knocked off its top perch. Keep in mind that the Chinese, as long as the game keeps going for longer, that they are going to be in a great position, and now we begin to see a concerning sight. If you ever scout this out, you know what is happening, and it is Fire Lancers, and that is something that is very scary. We see that he's actually sitting in the Song Dynasty here. No Yuan Dynasty reach just yet, but this definitely telegraphs his intention. He is thinking about Fire Lancers, so whether he looks to add in that second landmark shortly, you would expect it comes out sooner rather than later with this, because he's going to need the Yuan Dynasty if he wants to make any potential Fire Lancers. But yeah, to me, this looks like he's almost 100% intent on doing that. Not going to be adding in any Chokunug, not going to be adding in any Grenadiers, at least at this time, it seems. But I got to say, I admire the way Leenock plays the Chinese. Just slow, so methodical, doesn't push out unless he needs to. And that's the way that you should be playing the Chinese. Play to their strengths. What is the strength of the Chinese player? It is the late game. It is the Imperial Age. It is those bombards that have got the 12 range on them. It is the hand cannoneers with the 4.8 range. And now we see the clock tower bombard spam beginning. They've already got that, I was going to say the geometry. It's the chemistry upgrade. But now we see more upgrades coming through from the university. Siege work's going to be coming out, so looking to increase the health by 20% as well as the armor by 3. Would look out, he's also going to be going for pyrotechnics, so he is maxing out on these bombards. He's going to be very intent on building up a decent mass of these units, and these pyrotechnics is definitely going to help, as well as the siege works. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see him go for reload drills. So for anybody unfamiliar with the way that the bombards for the Chinese work, there are so many upgrades that you can stack on them, and they get so ridiculous in the late game. If there's ever been an advocate for nerfing the Chinese, it is going to be me. And now we see that dynasty coming through. It's going to be the Yuan Dynasty. He's looking to place that landmark. Where is it going down? It's up towards, no, that's an outpost. It's going to be in a northern position. Indeed it is. Imperial Palace going to be going down. Now, one of the things to note is as soon as this bad boy comes up, there is going to be so much line of sight. If you've ever played StarCraft 2, you know those little watchtowers you get in the middle of the map? It's basically like one of those. This thing has such a crazy line of sight, and it never goes away. In addition to that, you've also unlocked the special power, Imperial Spies, which reveals enemy workers for 10 seconds. So if you're wanting to raid your enemy and don't really know where their villages are at, it'll give you great insight as to that. But now we can see Leenock going to be doing a little bit of a spearman raid, trying to get behind enemy lines. Veteran spearmen only going to be the only units that are coming through here. Actually, I take it back. There's a couple of elite palace guards, and now we see the Yuan Dynasty coming through. You can see that line of sight being extended out towards this position in the middle, as well as up towards the north, and more outposts going up for Leenock. He is looking to try and take all control of the northern position here. We do have Imperial Spies that he could be using at any point. Now we actually see it. I didn't even realize. When did the High Armory come through for his opponent? I'm not sure exactly when that Imperial Age came through for Leary, but he has reached the Imperial Age and now looking to get upgrades in the Imperial era. We do see the elite upgrades coming through here for the Horse Archers, as well as +3 ranged attack. So he's going to be going for plate cutter point here. But yeah, you got to say that it is concerning for Leary. He's up in the Imperial Age, but just lacking a big economy. 87 villagers coming out for him at this point in time. Leenock sitting on 115. It is a huge amount of villagers for him, and he's going to be able to continue taking control of this position. Losing all of his villagers up towards the north. A little bit doubtful that that keep was going to go up, but he manages to. And now look at those palace guards chasing down the knights. You can see how fast they are. Not only do they move faster than a standard men-at-arms, but they've got the Yuan dynasty, and they are charging. They go up to 1.94 movement speed. That is some very fast infantry right there. Wow. Jeez, these guys have got jets on them, and they got to cool them because they are just, look at the damage they're doing. They're just completely slicing and dicing right now, menacingly. And now up towards the north, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some additional villagers moving in to look to try and take control of this large gold mine, because that is what the Chinese love to do in these late game situations. And you can see such a smart move coming out from Leenock. He is leaving the gold veins in his base. He is keeping his villagers out on the middle of the map. He is taking control of these large gold veins, and he's making sure that his enemy is never going to be able to access them because he is going to have mined them first. At the same time, look at all the Springles beginning to impact the front. At the same time, Leenock just pushing through, and now we've got ourselves a bit of a push coming out. Oh, I got excited. I put the cinematic mode on, and Leary ran back to his base. It was kind of, oh man. I can think of many metaphors, but I'm not going to say them. Elite Knights now coming out for Leary here. Is going to be looking to try and defend this position in the north. The Elite Knights definitely going to be coming out at the right time. Palace Guard sitting on 210 hit points. Has he got the Elite Army Tactics? We'll take a look and see the University. Where is it? I'm going to find it eventually. Here it is. No, he doesn't have Elite Army Tactics coming through just yet. And now at the same time on the front, Leenock is pushing through. He's dropping down another keep. This is going to be the second keep that might potentially go up, and indeed it is. An Elite Fire Lancers moving up towards the north. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. Leenock looking to take control in the late game. This is how the Chinese love to do it. They get line of sight. They get control of the map, and now the keeps are in position. Leary is going to be looking to struggle against this siege composition that is coming out, not to mention the Fire Lancers that are out. He is going to be worried about this. You can see how much damage these guys do. 40 torch damage against buildings. That is a huge amount of damage. Look at that. It is like, if you've ever played Age of Empires 3 and you've gone up against an Opernik, this is exactly what they do. They do so much damn damage against buildings in the late game. But now we continue to see Leenock pushing forward. Going to be dropping down a forward outpost just to provide line of sight against any potential army, any potential flanks that come through. It's going to give him a nice little heads up, and at the same time, we've now got Horse Archers together with Knights looking to break through these walls at the backside, and Illyri is definitely praying a little bit at this point to try and make his way through. And now we see a keep going to be coming up from Leenock. This is the kind of response that Leenock's got. He's like, yeah, I got some spare stone. I guess I can throw down a keep. I'm not going to bother fixing that wall. I'll just drop down this keep. I was planning on making a keep anyway. And now continuing to push forward with outposts. We see more emplacements. Actually, it's just going to be fortifications coming through. Keep manages to come up. No boiling oil. It looks like Leenock going to be holding this position. All of the bombards or all of the Springles going to be able to defend. Looks like the Horse Archer is going to be falling back towards that hole in the wall that they created, and now trying to keep himself alive, trying to keep himself afloat. Reseal going to be coming up on that position, but at the same time, Horse Archer is doing a great job. I don't know if we've got those incendiary arrows out just yet. I would expect that we don't. Fire Lancers up towards the north, going to be finding villagers up in this position. All of them going to be going down at the same time. Beautiful micro coming back, but the issue is he's running towards this keep. No boiling oil just yet. You can see it's a bit expensive, so he's not going to be investing into it. And Leary going to be trying his best to clean this up, but losing a lot of Horse Archers when he does it. I'm curious what kind of upgrades he's got. Let's take a look at the University. He's now getting incendiary arrows. Keep in mind, biology also increases the health of those units as well, so probably a good idea that he goes into that. Does he have... Yes, he does have Boyar's Fortitude, so that's going to buff up those cavalry health points even more. But now we see him cleaning up this position, and my one concern for him is that we really don't have walls. If there's any player that you don't want to be doing the no-wall challenge against, it is Leenock. This guy loves to just abuse late-game run buys and try and take control of the situations as much as he can, but now going to be picking off more villagers. Leary does, but leaving a lot of his army in that position. At the same time, still cleaning up the units inside of his base. We can see the elite Horse Archers struggling against those Fire Lancers, and finally cleaning them up as we hear. I don't know exactly what that was, but it sounded like it sounded like steam. You know, something to do with steam, whether it's like some sort of furnace, siege workshop. It sounded like, yeah, I don't know exactly what that was. It was like what is it? From the car, like the internal combustion engine. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, I'm sure you guys will tell me in the YouTube comments, though. But now it looks like Leenock is continuing to take control. Only veteran spearmen. Look at the resources starting to stack up for Leenock. He is feeling very confident in the late game. What kind of production are we talking here with Leenock? He's only got 17 production buildings, so not really yet to add in a whole bunch of production. I would expect in this position, he would probably look to add in a couple more barracks shortly. I would expect that, you know, you just see a whole bunch of barracks go up on this forward line. But you can see the way he's rallying units, just men-at-arms, or rather, Palace Guards and Fire Lancers. That's his composition for the late game, and now pushing forward with a whole bunch of siege as well, and going to be looking to open up on that keep. Pyrotechnics coming through. Now let's just talk about some of the upgrades that are coming through for the Chinese player. Leenock has got Not only does he have clock tower bombards, which give him an extra 50% health. That is correct. 50% health coming through from that clock tower. If we can find it. Where is that clock tower? Did I see it? There it is. So 50% health coming through from the clock tower. But at the same time, he's got reload drills, which reduces the reload time of his bombards. And then in addition to that, he's also got siege works, which increases the health, increases the armor that he's got. He's also got pyrotechnics, increasing the range. He's got chemistry, increasing the damage. There's so many upgrades he's got stacked on these bad boys. But now we've got ourselves another run-by coming through. Leenock under pressure, but at the same time, a run-by coming through with horse archers. Going to be going up against a run-by with fire lancers. Quick, tell me in the YouTube comments, which do you prefer? Would you prefer to run by with with fire lancers, or would you prefer to run by with horse archers? I tell you what I would prefer, and let me tell you right now, it's not going to be the horse archers. But now we continue to see Leenock pushing in towards the base of his enemy. 2 of the landmarks have gone down. You can see them on our screen right now. Destroyed landmark, destroyed landmark. That's 2 out of 4. The 2 last landmarks remain now for his opponent. Leary going to be trying to do some magic back towards the base of his enemy, and we see another keep going up for Leenock. He's building more units back, rallying towards the farm. He's going to be losing a lot of his siege out here if he's not careful, and we see the nest of bees teeing off towards the back line, at the same time cleaning up these units on the front line. And now we take a look towards the base of his opponent, and look at the beautiful base that's come out right now from Leenock. Farms everywhere, farms as far as the eye can see. Leenock loves to farm, and I gotta say, these are some beautiful damn farms right now from Leenock. At the same time, he continues to clean up all of these forces. And look at the barracks he's got on the back line. What are you doing, Leenock, with all your barracks back there? Did somebody tell you that those barracks shouldn't be on the back line? They should be on the front line. But at the same time, he's got spears coming out. I think these are the elite spears. We'll take a look at them. Indeed, they are elite spearmen. Going to be trying to clean up this position, but you can see the horse archers doing so much damage against these spears. But now the units continue to converge upon Leary's mass in the back of the base. At the same time, towards the front, you can see Leenock is just really investing in making sure these outposts are very strong, very steadfast, and providing that line of sight that he needs just so badly. And he continues to decimate the base of his opponent. Now back up towards the market of Leenock. It looks like a bit of a cleanup coming through on aisle 3. Someone's going to need to call for a service 30. Actually, you know what? In Australia, we've got Woolworths. It's service 20 for like people to come down to the cash registers. I don't know what it is, like a cleanup. Like that's probably like a service 80. Service 80, aisle 3, service 80. I'm going to assume that that's what it is. I'll have to Google it. Whoa, we almost got taken out again by a trebuchet. That is the second time in the game that we have dodged it. The first time it was intentional. The second time, not so much. But now Leenock looking to push it in, try and finish off this game. We can see his military forces moving out across the map. Another run by is potentially open for his opponent, but now the military mass is converging upon the base of Leary. Is down to 122 population at this point in time, of which only 31 are military. And now he's looking to try and hold on. Knight's going to be coming at, cleaning up this front, but it really looks to be at this point in time that Leenock is just completely destroying his opponent. There are no more run bys going to be coming through today, and we see that all of those bombards just teeing off towards the enemy units, one-shotting those horse archers. Look at that damage that comes out there. And now all the elite spearmen going to be running in here. You can see the elite fire lancers as well. So much. Look at how fast these guys go. 1.8 movement speed. And this is just a Tuesday, my friends. We don't even need movement speed. This is so damn quick, and now falling back towards these landmarks. And you can see Leenock turns his attention towards the high armory. No upgrades have actually come out for them at this point in time. You can see the banded arms upgrade only going to be providing 0.5 tiles, and that is going to be the 3rd landmark that goes down. And Leary taps out. He says, "You're not taking my 4th landmark. I'm going to take it with me." Good game. Well played. Leenock victorious. What a damn game. And I got to say, it all comes down to that BOARBICAN, baby. How beautiful was that BOARBICAN? Fellas, make sure you check out the Golden League this weekend, 15 GMT, Saturday, Sunday. Be there or be square.